Welcome back, guys. So many things have happened since the last time we talked. I just want to go ahead and update you. Let's get started. First of all, we're back here at Petrol Fields, where the proletariat have effectively kicked out most of the middle class people and have taken back their town. There are still, of course, a few areas of middle wealth here, for the people working Petroleum HQ. But for the most part, we've taken care of that issue. Now, another issue. I've redone the entrance to the town. It was bad. So I added a bridge over the main entrance so the cars have a little bit more room to get going. They can come around, they can go straight to this area and work, or they can turn into one of these smaller streets and head into the actual city. That means the people who are coming to work, they can take this new road that I added to work, or they can go over the bridge to Petroleum HQ. The town has grown an incredible amount. I did not expect this many people. I still need to do some tinkering with the traffic situation. I added this street here to clean up some of the mess. I added a precinct to get rid of some of the crime. I had a lot of crime going on. That's cleaned it up a bit. I'm still having problems with the homeless. These freeloaders won't get out of town. So I gotta keep my eye on the abandoned buildings because I've caught a few of them in the abandoned buildings. Now here's another problem. Parks. If we zoom in here, we'll see, I don't think this is a homeless. But if you look back, it's telling that there's a homeless person in this park. I don't see him or her, but he or she is there, and whatever. Look at that. Look at that. Just a mess. It's a disgusting mess. We're gonna take care of that. Hopefully, we'll be rid of these people eventually. Now, it's a big city. There are gonna be issues. There are bound to be issues. But what are you gonna do? Things are a little bit better off. So, I think it's gonna be time soon with 77,000. It might be time soon to start adding the hospital instead. Maybe adding some of the add-ons to the hospital. We'll see. But I want to show you Petrol Fields is working just fine, making a ton of money. And most importantly, we've knocked down some of the high wealth. We still have some, and that's okay. All right? That's fine. Now, something else that happened, and because there's a few in-game weeks or months or whatever time has gone by since the last video. So, oil headquarters here, Petroleum HQ, run, of course, by Crimson Petroleum Conglomerate. They brought in their engineers, their geologists, and their scientists to do, to check up on the city, see how everything was going, and they discovered that they're really draining the place dry. So this oil well only has a 4-month supply left. This oil well has a 5-month supply left, and this one has a 5-month supply left. There's still some oil here, but here you can see it's getting light gray. There's still a lot of oil here and here, but it's only a matter of time before this location is dry. And, what are you going to do? The entire industry of the town is based around oil. Now, of course, the bigwigs at Crimson Petroleum conglomerate, they haven't told the workers, they haven't told the stockholders. They're keeping it close to the chest. So the scientists, geologists, and engineers told them basically they're going to have two choices here. They're going to have to become a refining town only. So right now they're drilling for oil and they're refining their own oil into fuel. But they may have to go into refining only. When they refine, if you go to the refinery, you can do plastics or you can do fuel. Now, obviously, fuel sells for a lot more, which is why I'm doing fuel. But what they were told, what they were advised is maybe, once the oil is gone, knock down the oil wells, obviously, and put in a bunch of refineries, import the oil from other places, and just become a refining town. Yeah, importing costs a little bit, but, you import the oil. Here's the oil. It costs 9,000 simoleons per 1,000 crates, right? So that's how much it would cost. But then, let's see. Here we go. The fuel is selling for 36,000 per 1,000. So, it would be cost effective to do it this way, and you can also put the plastics in, and they could take care of the city that way. The other thing that the geologists, scientists, and engineers said, maybe it's time to take the drilling elsewhere. There might be some other place where you're going to have to settle down, do some drilling elsewhere. So they've sent some survey teams out, and they're exploring the area for more oil. And that just might be something they're going to have to take care of later. They don't know what they're going to do, and they're not, telling anyone. They want to be careful about that. They don't want their stock prices to plummet once the general public is made aware of their situation. So right now, they're just, hey, hush, hush, right? Well, we're going to head over to Industrial Bay and see how they're doing. They're doing okay, but let's check it out. Now, Industrial Bay has also grown since the last time we saw each other. We're at 22,500. It's gotten bigger. It's gotten a lot bigger. Things are really going just fine. We're profitable. We're still buying our power, our water. We're doing our own sewage, and that's going well. We're doing our own garbage, and that's fine. Fire, plenty of fire coverage, Everything's good on that end. The clinic is fine, treating 19 out of 40, so not even halfway full. No one's dying. You know, people are sick, obviously. People get sick, but that's fine. Crime, look at that. No criminals at large. No crimes committed per day. Hey, we got 8 patrol cars, only 5 people in jail. Everything is great. Education, got 2 schools going. One for this half of the city, one for the other half. This one only taught. This one's newish. I put this one in recently. This one was full. But hopefully, with this split, we can cover everyone. There are 1,282 students in this town. This one holds 350. This one holds 950. That should be more than enough to cover everyone. Soon, though, there's probably going to be a community college for these people to go ahead and continue their education. As far as our public transport, it's looking pretty good. We're doing about 8,000 riders a day. You know, plenty of bus stops all over. Everything's fine. Tourists, there's a couple of tourists around here. Like I said earlier, I don't know what people would come to this town to visit, but whatever. Now, industry's doing well. I'm going to add here and here ferry terminals to aid, because this is the low wealth commuter town. Obviously, people need to come in and out. They're going to be working. So I need to add, I don't need to, but I'm going to add a ferry terminal there. And I'm going to add a ferry terminal here. Here-ish. Maybe here. Maybe here. I think here. I don't know. Oof. I think here. No, here. We'll just go here. This'll do. All right. So with the ferries, the plan is, of course, no, I don't want a cruise ship. That's not what, no cruises. I wanted to add another worker terminal. That is not what I meant to do. I meant to do roads so we can hook this up. Let's get that going. And let's also get it going here. All right. Same with this one. This one's going to be a little trickier. See if we can get this curve right. There we go. Look at that. That is nice. So hopefully people will start coming in if I add a bus stop. Maybe people will take the bus once they land. They'll take the bus all over the place. All right, now let's hope that works out. Here's one more thing I'm going to do. Now, something I do when I build my towns, I have this long stretch of road here. The biggest backups occur on the entrance to the city. I mean, this is just a disaster. Look at this. 2 lanes going this way, 2 lanes going that way. It's a disaster. So I like to have a long stretch of road before my first intersection, which is here. Now, here's something I do. I leave a tiny gap. All right? a little tiny gap. I don't like four-way intersections. They're bad news. I have one here because you can't do away with them completely. It makes it really difficult for people to get around. But here's something else that happens. Say somebody needs to, say an emergency vehicle, let's say the fire guy, fire department, needs to, for some reason, go across here. They can't. Say this house is burning down. Let's say one of these houses is burning down. Okay? The fire truck would have to come here, take a right, then wait for the light, take a left, and then take another left, and then take another left. And by that time, this house might be burnt to the ground. So I thought, hey, let's make a bridge. Let's make a bridge. Now some of these people are complaining there's no shopping. I noticed that a second ago when we were talking about the bridge. These guys can't find work. They need work. And they can't find shopping. Well, sorry. But right now, this is going to happen. And here's the plan. I'm going to tear this down. These guys weren't happy anyway. Whatever. I'm going to tear this part down. And I'm going to tear this part down. I know. So much mayhem. But I'm going to make a medium density bridge. So I'm going to go over it, and then I'm going to raise it. Come on, I hope this works. No. No. Okay. I'm going to have to tear more of it. I'm sorry, guys. It's not what I wanted. Sometimes the road is too steep if you start them too close to each other. So this might work out a little bit better. There we go. I know that looks ridiculous. Can I raise it a little bit more? A little bit more. There we go. That'll have to do. Okay. That'll have to do. So, now, buildings that need services on either side of the highway, the main street here, they have access to everything. And I'm going to do that over here as well. Yeah, I'm going to do it here. Because this is another intersection that needs access, like the police. They need to be able to get everywhere. This dead end is great for traffic control, but the more ways people can get across town, the less traffic there's going to be on the bigger streets. So I'm going to have to do that, but I'm going to take care of that later. I'm going to take care of that, later. That's not very exciting. Okay, what I want to show you now is what I'm calling the revenge of the bourgeois. So they were kicked out of their town. They were driven out. And they decided they're going to found their own city at Elysian Hill. Now this is Elysian Hill. Welcome to it. All right. Medium wealth to high wealth. Very designer friendly. Very circular. This is what's going to happen here. Now, brand new, just a little bit of money, a little bit of population, running at a loss because we've set these things up. We want them happy from the beginning because this is going to be their little haven, if you will. Now, what we want to do in this giant spot here, we're going to add a university. This is going to be a very cool, highly educated town. Now, they need their low wealth. Let's not kid ourselves. Who's going to work at the bus? Who's going to drive the buses? You think these guys are going to drive the buses? I don't think so. Who's going to work at the sewage treatment plant? You think these guys are... Oh, no. These guys are too busy visiting their parks. These guys are too busy. They're going to be too busy, enjoying life. They love the parks and activities around here. There's so many great things. Soon there's going to be a university. And maybe, just maybe, top of the hill, this is going to be the rich of the rich, the richest of the rich, overlooking the city. And maybe, just maybe, they might put up some casinos for themselves. Because you know what? Why not? Right here, with a view of the coast. That's what they're going to do. So right now, though, we're just getting this set up with enough people to make some of these things possible. Once I reach a few more, then we'll talk. We'll talk some more business. I already put down a clinic, and I'm soon gonna put down plop a grade school to keep the people educated. The more education you have, the less crime you have. And that's something that's important to this city. It's very important to this city. Especially if later on we're going to do some gambling. Gambling draws criminals. So we're doing that now. Now, like I said, we're running at a loss, but very easily I could go to Petroleum HQ, and have them send a sizable money gift. Because, hey, these are the men and women that work at the HQ. A lot of these guys work there. They just moved because that town was, it's getting too much for them. All right? That doesn't mean they don't work there. They just don't live there. They were driven out. But soon, they're going to have their own town, fully established. It's going to be way better. And they're going to look back and say, hey, can you believe we actually cared at one point? That's what they're going to say. Can you believe we actually cared? That's not what I wanted. Sometimes it's kind of tricky. I want to rip the road. Okay. Another thing I can do with my new... Listen, I did not know you could raise the roads and lower the roads and create bridges and that kind of thing. I never knew until I watched a video by a guy, Skystorm. He does a few SimCity, what he calls 60-second tips. And just watching him play gave me a lot of ideas, but also I did not know you could lower and raise the roads. And that creates so many possibilities. For example, I made this before. I made this town before I knew about that. And I'm thinking, this intersection here has got to go. And I know just the way I'm going to do it. I'm going to tear this down, stretch this segment all the way out, and then also create this bridge above it. And this is going to loop around. So much better than this. So much better than this. And maybe even some of these, I might be able to raise them, create some really, dead ends, I don't like them. I don't like dead ends, but I do it for the traffic. But now that I can make bridges and tunnels, man, The possibilities. The possibilities. But anyway, so Elysian Fields has become a town. And it's soon gonna grow. It's gonna grow a lot. And eventually, they're gonna get so big, it's so rich, that they're going to put up their casinos here and become that kind of town. Very wealthy town. But I want at least, I don't know, let's say 5,000. And then I'm going to do university. Because university is cool. It unlocks a bunch of cool stuff that you want. You definitely want the university. And it just goes with the theme that the people here in this town, they want high education. You know, that's what they think of themselves. They're better, and they're going to be educated. So, I'm going to leave you with that knowledge. Going back out to the region view so we can recap. Elysian Hill. This is Elysian Hill at the top, overlooking the lake and the river. Very nice. Very nice. We have Industrial Bay, which is growing, and obviously it's doing well. So now that we have one last quick thing. People are able to commute back and forth. Now, industrial, whatchamacallit, not Bay. Yeah, Industrial Bay. They have train, bus, and ferry. So, one ferry connection, one train connection, and of course the bus connection to and from both cities. Hopefully, eventually, I can put a ferry here and have people going back and forth. It's so much easier. This city, unfortunately, doesn't have a train connection, so that's out of the question. But if I put a ferry in this area right here, we can have people going back and forth by bus or ferry. So that'll be cool. We got another spot here that I have plans for, but that comes later. And we still have a Great Works. We don't know what we're going to do yet. But for right now, Petrol Bay, they, with their new discovery about their oil, in a state of panic. Elysian Hill, newly founded. And of course, Industrial Bay. That is, everything's going well there. All the towns are doing well. But stay tuned to see what happens next. Oh my. So many things. All right, guys. Until next time.